it is one of those things that is incomprehensible to me. I cannot comprehend the ability to do that. Did you see those two crazy bastards that climbed the outside of the Salesforce building in San Francisco?
I did not.
Dude, look it up right now. The two guys, they were barefoot. Now, this is a sheer glass building. Okay? Sheer glass.
Okay.
And each piece of glass is probably, it's taller than them. So let's say it's 8 feet, right? That's probably about right. Maybe 8 feet of floor, maybe 10 feet of floor, something like that for glass. And the building's got to be, it's got to be 35, 40, 50 stories. I mean, it's a pretty big building. And they climbed up the outside of the building with no shoes on, two of them using their fingers and their toes inside the edges of the glass frames.
That's nuts.
Did you see it?
I got it here, yeah. I'll
You got a picture?
Let me see if I
Yeah, attach it. We can always attach a picture to the notes on the show. If you guys haven't seen this, I have no idea how this is possible. I don't understand. I can't watch.
There you go.
Oh, there you go, Billy. Yeah. Look at him. How is that even possible?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now watch this dude. See that?
Because right there, you're like, all right, now where are you going to go? That's
right.
That's taller than you can. He's got a chalk bag. So he's reaching back behind him and looks like he's playing with his pants or something. That's a bag full of chalk.
Right.
That's used in rock climbing. These guys are totally rock climbers.
You think? The thing that this camera shot doesn't show, and I hope they pan out, is dudes are on like the 30th floor.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And that one there, wait till they get higher because there's no little ledge like what they got there on that one. Oh, here we go.
Free climbing to a whole
new
level.
Check it.
That's crazy.
Is that insane? They got arrested when they got to the top. But I mean, look, I am equal parts mortified and impressed by anybody's ability to do something like that.
Especially with you and your heights.
If anybody knows, Billy knows, I'm scared to death of heights. I can't, there's no, I don't even like getting on the roof. So for me, heights are a no-go. I can't even watch that video. That video, it hurts me to watch it. I have to look away. So again, those guys are crazy. I can't imagine wanting to do something so bad that it might kill me if I don't do it. So the mentality behind it, I'm not sure is 100% there. You know, there's that argument about you haven't lived until you've, parachuted down the side of a mountain face and just missed a bridge by 3 feet. You know, all of those kind of, unless I'm out swimming with the sharks or I'm surfing the giant waves that might kill me, that's true life. I don't know that I believe that. I don't know that I go in for that. I think that if you want to do something that ultimately might kill you, I'll never forget the picture or the video of the kid in Japan, I think it was, or South Korea. And his whole thing was showing videos of him hanging from the ledges by his arms of a building. You know this one, Billy?
There's a huge group of YouTubers that do this on the daily. I don't know if I've seen that specific guy, but there's a ton of videos of these guys. I mean, climbing skyscrapers, climbing the big, what do you call them? The towers, the machinery to pick up and move stuff around.
Mm-hmm.
Climbing those without any sort of protection, and it's crazy.
Well, this guy, he wasn't a climber. He would get up there. Well, I shouldn't say he wasn't a climber. I don't know if he was a climber or not. But what I had seen in his Instagram pics is he would have a camera up above him, and then he would hang from the ledge and have the picture from the camera from up above, get a shot of him and the, 70 stories beneath him as he's hanging off of a ledge on this building. So the final video of him that I saw was taken from the side. I think he had the camera up above him as it's taking the picture. There's nobody there to help him. He's got like a stand there. And then, but somebody was videotaping him from what would be his left side as I'm looking at him hanging from the building. And what he didn't account for was that this particular building that he was hanging from, he's hanging from his arms, and he hangs there for probably too long. He's used to hanging and then putting his feet against the glass and walking up kind of pulling himself up the building.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, he couldn't put his feet against the glass. He did, but it was a new building with some sort of new glass, and the new glass was super slick. Mm-hmm. And so rather than his tennis shoes catching on it like you would expect it to do on glass, it just slipped. And he just hung there for a second, figured out he ain't going to get up. He tried to pull himself up, but the strength wasn't there. And pretty soon he kind of turns and jumps. He kind of pushes himself off and disappears out of the camera shot.
Wow.
And I want to say it's like 30 or 50 stories or some gigantic amount that just scares the hell out of me anyway. But those dudes are crazy. How do we get on that? Why were we talking about that?
I was going to say, you need to watch the movie. It's going to be hard for you to watch, but you should watch it.
No.
It's called
I know what you're going to say. I'm not watching Free Solo.
Have you ever heard of it?
Dude, I know exactly who that dude is. Alex Honnold.
Yep.
is his name.
Guy's a
and
beast.
That dude, I don't want no part of it. I can't watch it. I saw his 60 Minutes deal.
Yeah.
They did an interview with him on 60 Minutes some time ago, and the 60 Minutes crew, they had to get a special crew, climbed up that thing with him. And I love the story of him. Some dudes were talking about he's climbing Yosemite, and there's some way that you're supposed to climb Yosemite to get to the top, and he has the world record for climbing this unclimbable mountain with nothing.
El Capitan.
El Capitan with just shoes on, right? Nothing. Rosin bag. So these two dudes are talking about, they're being interviewed, and they're talking about they were climbing it with ropes, and they're doing it all the right way and the things that you should do, and getting their ropes strung and all of that. And up catch it with no ropes by himself comes Alex Honnold, and he gets up to him and he's like, "Hey guys, you got any extra rosin? Because any extra chalk? Because I forgot my chalk bag." And again, I mean, you can't even see the ground. Yep. And dude's like, "I forgot my chalk bag." So they hook him up, and he's like, that dude just kept moving like he was attached to the wall. Yep. Like his fingers stuck. Yeah, it's nuts.
It's amazing. And that, I think it was in that movie. I've watched a lot of stuff about this guy, but he talks about kind of the mental side behind the things. And it's just super interesting to listen to. I mean, he's kind of an oddball case. He doesn't seem to have that element of fear. Like most of his decision making was around his like not wanting to leave his girlfriend behind, not him potentially dying. But there is something in there because there was a number of times that he started it out or went a little ways up the mountain and then turned back for the day, until he finally hit that day where he was like, nope, I'm just going to go do it. And does it.
Yeah, and there's some specific moment on that climb where they have to do some sort of transition that, and don't quote me, but it's something like their feet are backwards, or I guess when you're doing these climbs, you try never to not be attached at some point with your feet or legs, or, at least have one point hanging on to something.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some point that's this critical, they even call it the bridge or call it something, that's this critical point where you have to kind of leave the wall and jump to the next spot if you're free soloing it. Obviously if you have gear, you could swing or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And again, don't quote me, but it's something along those lines. And dude's like, again, I don't know how far off the ground he is, 1,500 feet, 2,000 feet, right? Yep. Enough to kill you easily.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I just had to go for it. And, everything was lined up. The weather was right. Everything was good. And it's not like some huge Hollywood movie leap, but you're up there on your own and you're jumping from one crevice to another crevice, and you got to catch the, 1-inch outcropping on the other side in order to not fall 2,000 feet. A little bit of pressure on a man doing that. And I remember him saying, yep, I just had to do it. And then from then, I don't know, he climbed the thing in like, It's like under an hour or something stupid, wasn't it, Billy? It's like it just,
I can't remember.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's something crazy.
Just something ridiculously.
And I mean, you kind of expect him to break time records because he doesn't have all of that other stuff to worry about necessarily, right? So he's not rigging up his gear as he's going and making sure all the safety checks are in place before he moves forward.
Right.
But then again, you'd expect more time. So they call that move a dynamo, I believe, is where you have to jump from one spot to another and grab it. I'd imagine the thought consideration before making a move like that would be much longer in time than somebody who has a safety rope. I mean, even with the safety rope, it feels intense. I mean, you still feel like you're going to die if you don't make it, although you have the rope and everything else there in place. But yeah, I mean, especially out there in the outdoors, where things are variable all the time, it's a whole different ball game. I mean, just doing that in a building 20, 30 feet up is one thing, but yeah, 1,000 feet up, and you don't know if there's a tarantula up underneath that rock that you're about to grab. Right? You put your hand there and get stung by something, that knee-jerk reaction of letting go. It's like,
or that rock. I always think about ice got in the rock over the wintertime.
Yep.
Right. So what you grabbed hold of last year is going to break away this year.
Yeah. That's crazy.
It takes my legs out from under me just thinking about it. So yeah, that's crazy. But to finish that thought on this, it is one of those things that is incomprehensible to me. I cannot comprehend the ability to do that. Nor can I comprehend, though, the thought process of doing something that might kill you, of having to do something like that might end your life, and needing that high, if you will, to do that. But I am in awe of it. I have so much respect for it. And in a way, it gives us all a lesson on how to live and what life might be, I suppose. But I don't feel, they always tell you that you haven't lived until you've, skydived. Pretty sure I've lived without skydiving. I feel real confident about that. Skydiving is probably not a good example because it's so safe, but you know what I'm saying? Climbing a bridge, or climbing one of these deals, or surfing down one of these giant waves, or swimming with sharks, or any of the other things that people do. Good for them. I'm all for it. I just don't think that I need to do that in order for them to say that I haven't lived any more than they could have lived my life, or made it through the things that I have made it through. But I don't know how they feel about people who have come where I've come from and done the things that I've done. But I know that I certainly respect the hell out of these crazy dudes. I may not agree with it, but that doesn't mean I'm not impressed. And there is something broken in those dudes, or they got something we don't have. It's one or the other. You know what I mean? Either they're born with something extra that all the rest of us got hosed on, or something's broken.